There's a reason you landed on this video, and it goes beyond the algorithm or the thumbnail. It's something much deeper. It's like a signal that's been trying to reach you through the static for months, maybe even years, finally came through clear. And what I'm about to say might sound a little strange, but just stay with me here. This exact message, the one unfolding for you right now, is meant to find you precisely once in your life. Not because of some mystical decree, but because that's how genuine transformation actually works. Once a realization truly clicks into place, it has no reason to introduce itself again. A door opens, you walk through it, and that particular door then closes behind you, not to lock you out, but because you're already on the other side. I know that can sound like some heavy spiritual concept, but I'm not talking about, magic or manifesting or any of that stuff. I'm talking about a feeling you've almost certainly had, but maybe never found the words for that moment, when a single conversation, or even one sentence from a stranger, permanently alters how you view yourself. You never forget it, but you also never need to hear it again. It's already been integrated, doing its work from the inside out, quietly changing the way you make decisions, the way you show up in the world, and how you interpret what happens next. That's exactly what I mean by it appearing only once. The information doesn't need to be repeated, because you've already absorbed it. You're carrying it with you now, whether you consciously realize it or not. And just think about the last time something truly changed for you, not a surface-level change like trying a new habit for 3 days. I mean real change. The kind where your internal default settings were completely rewritten. If you trace it back, there's almost always one specific moment. A person who said something that just hit differently than it would have a month earlier, or a failure that finally taught you what 50 successes never could. A random Tuesday afternoon when, out of nowhere, something just made perfect sense. And the interesting thing is, these moments never announce their arrival. You don't wake up in the morning thinking, today is the day everything shifts. It's only when you look back much later that you realize that was the turning point. That was the exact thing you needed to hear, and you only needed to hear it that one time. But this is where it gets uncomfortable for us. We are terrified of things that only happen once. We want guarantees. We want the person to stay the lesson, to be on a constant loop, and the opportunity to come back around in case we weren't ready the first time. We treat these singular moments like glitches in the system, as if the universe messed up by not giving us a do-over. So, we start chasing. We try to recreate the exact same conditions. We reach out to people who have already delivered the message they were meant to deliver. We rewatch videos hoping they'll land with the same impact. We keep going back to the well long after the bucket has come up empty, and the frustration we feel when it doesn't feel the same. That's not failure. That's the feeling of completion, trying to tell you that its work is already done. I've seen this play out in my own life more times than I can count. I met this person in a coffee shop one time. We talked for maybe 30 minutes. I don't even remember their name, but they said something about how most people spend their whole lives just waiting for permission to become the person they already are. And I swear in that moment something in my brain was fundamentally rewired. I didn't need to see them again. I didn't need a follow-up conversation. That 30-minute exchange did exactly what it was supposed to do. It handed me a mirror I'd been avoiding my entire life, and once I looked into it, I could never unsee what I saw. The lesson was absorbed. The energy had moved. That person probably has no clue they changed my entire trajectory, and I'll likely never get to thank them. But that is precisely the point. The exchange was complete in itself. No loose ends, no unfinished business, just a clean transfer of awareness from one person to another, and then we both moved on. That's how life actually flows when we stop trying to force it. Things appear exactly when you are calibrated to receive them. And I don't mean that in some, woo-woo law of attraction kind of way. I mean your own awareness simply expands to a point where you can finally see what has been there all along. It's just like when you learn a new word, and then suddenly you begin to notice it everywhere you go. That word didn't suddenly appear everywhere. Your mind just finally started letting it in instead of tuning it out. That's the essence of being ready. It isn't about attracting something new. It's about finally being able to see what the old you would have just scrolled right by. And right now, in this very moment, you're ready. If you weren't, this video would have never stopped you in your tracks. You would have just kept on scrolling or clicked off within the first 10 seconds. But something in those first few words resonated, because it's on the same wavelength you are. Maybe you've been feeling stuck, but you know you're not completely lost. And perhaps you've felt a shift coming, even if you can't put your finger on what it is. Maybe you're just worn out from searching for all the answers. And a part of you is really hoping this is the last stop. If any of this is hitting home, it's because you're standing on a threshold. And these moments are delicate. You can't just force your way through. You have to be invited across. Consider this video your invitation. But here's the thing. Most people get wrong about moments like this. The real breakthrough isn't in the message itself. It comes from what the message awakens within you. I could say these exact same words to 100 different people, and maybe only 5 of them would feel it, just times click asterisk. It's not because the other 95 aren't intelligent or perceptive. They're simply not on the same frequency yet. The message hasn't reached them. Or maybe it did, but they weren't open to receiving it. And there's absolutely no judgment in that. Timing is something you can't control. You don't get to decide when you're ready. You just wake up one morning and realize you have been for some time. You just hadn't noticed it yet. And that realization, it changes everything. Because if being ready simply reveals opportunities instead of creating them, then you're never actually late. You're not behind schedule. You haven't missed your shot. The things that are truly meant for you have been orbiting you all along, just waiting for the moment your awareness was ready to grab hold. It's like one of those optical illusions, where you're staring at a picture but can't see the hidden image for the life of you. And then someone points it out and suddenly it's the only thing you can see. You didn't get new eyes. You got a new way of seeing. That image was there the whole time. You just needed to find the right perspective. So when I say this video will only show up for you once, I don't mean it's going to vanish from the platform. I mean it's only going to land like this times for you right now. For this specific version of you, with your unique experiences, and this exact level of awareness, with this particular ache you've been carrying around, if you were to come back and watch this again 6 months from now, it just wouldn't hit you in the same way. Not because the words are different, but because you are. You will have already integrated what you needed from this very moment, and your entire being will have tuned into the next frequency. And that's not a bad thing at all. That's what growth is. That's how real transformation keeps itself from just becoming another piece of entertainment. Let me break down what I mean. We're living in a world that has figured out how to turn our search for meaning into a business. There's endless content, endless advice, and an endless line of people claiming they have the secret to it all. And it's incredibly easy to get trapped in consumption mode, binging video after video, devouring book after book, just collecting insights like they're baseball cards. But collecting insights isn't the same as integrating them. Knowing the path isn't the same as walking it. And at some point, you have to stop the endless search and start actually living what you've learned. That is the fundamental difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck. The people who truly grow understand when it's time to close the loop. They take in the message, they sit with it, they let it rewire their thinking, and then they take action. But the ones who stay stuck just keep searching for a better answer, a clearer sign, or a more perfect version of the truth they already hold. And listen, I totally get it. Sitting still with what you've discovered is uncomfortable. There's no quick dopamine rush from integration. It's quiet work. It's slow. And it often feels like nothing is happening at all. But that's where the true transformation happens. It's the moment an outside message truly sinks in and becomes a part of you, realizing you're not just listening to concepts anymore, you're actually embodying them. And once that fundamental shift occurs, the urge to keep looking for answers just naturally quiets down. It's not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because you've finally learned to trust the wisdom you already hold within. That's the point where life stops feeling like a frantic scavenger hunt and starts to feel like a path you're creating with each step you take. I believe this is what people are really getting at when they say trust the process. It's not about some kind of blind faith. It's about the deep recognition that the insight you need always arrives precisely when you're ready to actually use it and not a moment sooner. And that's not due to some cosmic cruelty or a test from the universe. It's simply because any earlier you wouldn't have been able to truly grasp it. You might have heard the words, but the meaning would have completely passed you by. You would have nodded in agreement, but deep down nothing would have shifted. But now something within you is finally ready to let that truth land. That's precisely why this moment is so important. It's why this message needed to reach you right now. You feel me. And once it does, once that internal click happens, the energy circuit is complete. There's no more unfinished business lingering between you and this very moment. The transfer is complete. You absorb what you need, and the rest simply falls away. That isn't a loss. It's a form of spiritual efficiency. This is how the universe keeps you from getting trapped in repetitive cycles that no longer serve your growth. Just imagine if every lesson had to repeat itself over and over until you consciously gave it a nod. You'd be completely drowning in reruns. But instead, life is kind. It allows things to pass through you just once to do their work, and then move on. It has faith that you'll carry forward the essential parts. It doesn't need to follow up and make sure you got the memo. The transformation within you is all the confirmation that's needed. I witness this happening with people all the time. Someone might tell me about a conversation from years ago that still resonates with them, and as they recount it, you can just feel that it's more than a simple memory. It's like a living piece of wisdom inside of them. It fundamentally shaped how they view relationships, their career, or even themselves. Meanwhile, the person who said it likely has no memory of the conversation at all, and that's the profound beauty of these one-time encounters. They don't require any ongoing upkeep or maintenance. The impact doesn't depend on both people staying connected to last. The exchange was made, the energy was transferred, and both individuals walked away carrying something new. That, right there, is completion. That is what true closure looks like. Not some grand emotional farewell, but a quiet internal knowing that what was meant to happen did. Now here comes the part that might just bend your mind a little. If this video was only meant to appear one time, and it's appearing for you right now, what does that imply for you? Once this moment is over? Yes, it means that this particular phase of searching has come to an end. At least for the specific question you've been carrying, you won't find a better answer than the one that's currently unfolding within you. It's not because this video holds some magic key, but because you are finally in a space to truly hear what you've likely been told a dozen times before, just in different forms. This time it's actually sticking. This time your whole being is ready to integrate this truth. And once that integration is complete, you won't feel the need to return here searching for it again. You will already be living it. Now, I know that might feel a little anticlimactic. We've been conditioned to expect that major breakthroughs come with fireworks and a drum roll. But most of the time, true insight is quiet. It feels more like, oh, of course, that just makes sense. There's no drama involved, just a subtle inner recalibration. And then you simply move forward slightly, changed from who you were 15 minutes ago. Perhaps you'll finally make a decision you've been putting off. Maybe you'll release something you've been clinging to far too tightly. Or maybe you'll just feel a little lighter, as if a weight you didn't even know you were carrying has finally been lifted. That feeling is the signal that something has shifted. That's how you know the message has truly landed. And from this point on, the next phase begins. Not the next search, into the next phase of embodiment. You take what resonated and you make it your reality. You put it to the test. You let it start steering your decisions. And before you know it, it shifts from something you're thinking about to something that's just a part of you. That's the moment you know it's truly taken root. When the conscious effort fades and it simply becomes how you move through the world, you've hit the mark. The goal isn't to stockpile more wisdom, but to fully inhabit what you've already been given, to allow it to reshape you from the core until the old you feels like a distant memory. Now, if something in this video truly hit home, if you felt the slightest internal shift, or even just a quiet hum of recognition, I need you to do something that might feel a bit bold. Go down to the comments section right now and type 4 words. The loop is closed. That's it. No backstory, no long explanation of why. Just those 4 words. Because here's the magic that happens when you bring a private breakthrough into the open. It stops being a theory. It becomes your truth. It's like signing an unbreakable contract with your future self. Your nervous system records it, your subconscious mind takes note. And if you know somebody who's trapped on that endless treadmill of searching, someone always chasing the next answer, instead of living the ones they already hold, to share this with them. Ask them to write it too. The loop is closed. Those small public declarations become the private fuel that keeps you going when doubt tries to pull you back into the old cycle. So here's what I really want you to grasp before we finish here. You don't need any more answers. You don't need another video, another book, or another expert telling you what your next move should be. You need to trust that you have already received exactly what you came for. You need to grant yourself permission to stop searching and start building, to take the clarity that's surfacing in this very moment and actually put it to work. That is the challenging part. Not the learning, but the living. Not the insight, but the integration. And that work doesn't happen out here with more content. It happens inside you in the quiet spaces when you're alone with your own mind and you have to choose who you are becoming. This message found its way to you for a reason. You were ready for it. And it won't need to find you a second time because once was enough. The circuit is now complete. The energy has been transferred. What you do with it from this point forward is entirely your call. But understand this, you are not the same person who clicked play on this video. Something has shifted. Something has settled into place. And you are walking away from this moment carrying a piece of clarity you didn't have before. That clarity is your new compass. Trust it. Follow where it leads. And watch how your life begins to align with the version of you that you've been striving to become. The loop closes now. The search ends now. Not because there's nothing left to discover, but because you have learned what this specific moment was sent to teach you. From here on out, you move forward, different, lighter, and fully prepared. And this video, this message, this very moment, it accomplished exactly what it was meant to. It found you, and now it sets you free.